Alright, hey guys, this is going to be game one of the Northern Warlords GT that I went to over a week ago now. Life's been getting in the way of getting the reports done, so here's the first one. Game one, I had a grudge against Adam Sinclair. You probably know him. He does his own YouTube channel, does his own battle reports. He's battle reporting this game, so you'll be able to get his take as well, which will be pretty cool seeing this game from both sides. I grudged him through the Warhammer forum purely on the premise of we both have YouTube channels and we're both going to do battle reports. I figured it'd be cool to see who the ultimate YouTuber is. So strap yourself in, guys. It's going to be Ogres versus Dwarfs. I knew beforehand that he was going to play Dwarfs, and everyone like threats about playing Dwarfs because they're boring and got a static play style. But Adam's playing his Dwarfs in a really sort of pseudo-aggressive way. Really not what you normally see from a dwarven army. So it's actually quite cool playing dwarves in that manner. And I was rocking out with my ogres this game. So this is my deployment. I forgot to take a picture of my magic cards. I'm pretty sure I did take a picture. The picture was not processed. But basically I got all the spells I need. I had Harmonic Convergence, Combat with Cassandora, Ice Shard, Blizzard, and Uranim's Thunderbolt. And then the level 2 more, rolled up Troll Guts and Bull Gorger. The one that's +1 strength, I think, is Bull Gorger. So I had a pretty good playset, pretty much the perfect spells I needed for this game. My deployment, I went on the far left with the 7 Iron Guts and the Slaughtermaster. 2 units of 6 lead belches holding my sort of pseudo centre off to the left. And in the middle of the board, which became my right flank, was my unit of 8 bulls with the BSB and the level 2 in there. In each of the back corners I had a lead belcher, an iron blaster out in the back 6 inches away from everything, because I don't need them up on the front lines getting killed by his gyrocopters. I'm going to need them later on in the game to be doing redirecting. And you see there in the bottom right corner is the other iron blaster, and there's my Heaven's Magic cards. And after this game, Adam graciously let me borrow his Ogre magic cards for the rest of the tournament, which is very kind of him, and I appreciate it because they came in handy. Onto the dwarf deployment then, and just a quick little note you'll see circled at the top of the picture there, table 1, was my friend Kieran playing with my warrior army, which I sold him a while back because I don't play warriors anymore. So little sort of guest appearance from my old army there in one of my battle reports. So Adam's deployment, he went pretty straightforward. He's got his big block of slayers with a giant slayer in there with the rune of fire, and I think the rune of speed, something like that anyway. Basically he's there to let the unit tackle regen, so he can go first, do a wound, get rid of regen, and then the slayers can really go to town. Then you've got a big block of longbeards on the right. In there was his runesmith with the spell eating rune, BSB with I think basically defensive kit, and the dwarf on shield bearers who had the rune of might ×2, the rune of smiting, basically something that makes him double his strength if he toughness 5 or more and do d6 wounds in combat. So against all my characters he's just terrifying. Do not want to get any of my characters in base contact with him because they're all toughness 5 and they'll all just die. Then he's got 2 gyrocopters, one off to the left, one behind, and he's got an organ gun with an attached master engineer who's got double pistol, and in the little rocky terrain piece in the back there was a cannon, which I think has the flaming rune. I think it doesn't really make a difference in this game because I don't really have anything with regen. Okay, onto Vanguard phase. I don't have any Vanguard, so Adam just pushes all his Vanguarders up. My comp was 3, Adam's comp was 5, so he got +1 to all the rolls. I was lucky enough to win the roll to choose sides, and I didn't want that building in my deployment zone because my battle plan was always going to be just to back up and move, and I didn't need a building in the middle of my deployment zone. It hampered my movement. So luckily I won the roll off for that and got the other side, but because he had the +1 to go because of comp and the +1 for finishing deployment first, Adam got to go, and basically this is what he does, pushes everything forward. Sorry for the unformatted photo, these keep slipping in and I sincerely apologise. so that was an extra photo that I didn't even need anyway. So this is the end of Dwarf turn 1, he just pushes everything forward. I deployed far enough back so that he had no charges, he couldn't charge any because of Vanguard. Isn't very aggressive with the gyrocopters. I wasn't sure if I was surprised or not by that, but I'm happy to see them back there and not up more in my face. The cannon goes ahead and takes a shot at the Iron Blaster on the right and gets it down to 2 wounds, which is fortunate because didn't need that much luck to kill one of my Iron Blasters, and if he does that then he kind of gets the shooting advantage and it's going to be a struggle. Fortunately for me, the organ gun is out of range of everything and he forgets to move it forward, so that was a bit of a saving grace. On to Ogre Kingdom's turn 1 then. I don't think I've got a picture of my movement, I don't know why. This is the magic phase. That little counter there is I got the comet down. Grudge is a fantastic piece of kit. I slot master's Grudge, which makes him a level 6 wizard if I do a wound on a unit, but if I roll double 1 in the magic phase, he's removed from play. So in the magic phase, I go ahead and I put a thunderbolt into the gyrocopter on the left. In fact, no, sorry. I start the magic phase by bubbling out harmonic convergence because it was going to get my Iron Blaster and both units of lead belchers. Adam used his spell eater rune on it, but didn't eat the spell, which is lucky because harmonic convergence is central to sort of the strategy of this list. I then go ahead and I got, with the help of Grudge, got a really high casting of Comet. And Adam threw all these dice at it, but he couldn't reach the dispel total. So I got the Comet down there, which is that little golden token between his 2 units, which is going to be great if he wants to push forward anymore. And then I go ahead on the left, you'll notice that one of the gyrocopters is missing. I got Thunderbolt off on the gyrocopter and killed that as well, which is really going to help because I need to win the movement war. So yeah, there's the little explosion marker on the left, and then in the shooting phase, cannon takes out the other gyrocopter. So now I've really got the movement advantage, which is really going to help. And after the game, Adam asked me why I put so much focus on killing his gyrocopters, and it's purely because my battle plan was always going to be just to back up, and I didn't want him noticing that and then dropping the gyrocopters in behind me and stopping me from moving backwards. He's a good enough player who would have seen what I was doing, and I needed to stop that from happening. I need to win the movement phase against this army. Dwarf turn 2 then, no charges, because I backed up. It was a really long charge, possibly even out of his maximum charge range, so he just marches right up, lands right between right on the comet marker, but he's got big enough units that the comet's not really going to matter anyway, and I think he forgets to move his organ gun up again, which is fortunate. Obviously there's no magic phase, and in the shooting phase the cannon misfires and can't shoot this turn the next turn, which keeps my Iron Blaster alive for another turn, which is really fortunate. Not much to say about the dwarf turns because there's no magic phase, and this is kind of a one-dimensional army. It's quite easy to document his turns because not much happens until we get to combat. This is just a picture of sort of the end of dwarf and movement and just kind of where my units are in relation. Then the magic phase, comet comes down. I think I kill like 2 or 3 of the Longbeards and sort of a handful of Slayers. So it didn't really do much, but every little helps because I need to whittle as much of these units down as possible. In my previous shooting phase as well, the lead belchers are shooting at the Slayers every shooting phase. They're a slightly weaker unit, and they're the unit I'm going to target to get points out of because I really don't want to be in combat with those stubborn Longbeards. Absolutely no way. So Ogre turn 2 then, I just back up again. I'm back to the point now where he has 10-inch charges. If he takes it and gets it, then fair enough, he kind of deserves the win. I mean, if not, then that's fine, I'm just going to back up again. But more than likely he'll probably just charge right in my face, knowing that I probably can't back away for another turn. But this is fine because it's going to give me another turn of magic, another turn of shooting and whittling him down, which is good. It's just a shot of this sand board. Iron Blaster's moving up to take shots at the organ gun and the cannon, and the Gorger comes on. So the Gorger can try and take out the cannon, make a really huge mistake by moving too close to the organ gun, and I'm going to pay for that shortly, which you will see. Magic phase, I think that is Outshard Blizzard, if I remember rightly. The only spell I managed to get off, which doesn't really do anything because we're not in combat yet, and he's unbreakable anyway, so the leadership isn't going to make a difference. I think I just kind of threw it out just in case he made the long charge, just to give me a little bit of advantage in combat. Shooting phase, the Iron Blast misfires, and I think I can't shoot this turn or next turn as well, so fortunate not to blow myself up. The other Iron Blaster goes ahead and fires at the organ gun, needs a really long bounce. I think I was just in range to go 10 from the back, but more likely I think I needed 14 inches on the bounce to hit it, and I hit it, wound it, and I do a single wound, which is disappointing, but hey, then the dice. Dwarf turn 3 then, as I suspected, Adam doesn't take the charges, they were just too long for him, didn't want to take the risk, and he just pushes everything forward knowing that I really can't justify backing up again, because then it's going to be some easy charge range for him. So now this is where the game's gonna hilter. Again, no magic phase, no real shooting phase. The cannon can't shoot because it misfired, but the organ gun does shoot and take out the Gorger. I'm not sure if I have a picture of it, so I'll just mention that quickly now. Yeah, I do have a picture of it, yeah. So the organ gun, despite the -2, goes ahead and shoots the Gorger and kills it. I worked out afterwards that if I'd have been like 1.5 inches further away, he would have been at long range. I took an additional minus and probably wouldn't have killed the Gorger. So just a little bit of misplay on my part. But it's the first game of the tournament, so having never played the list, you've kind of got to allow for a bit of rustiness. Ogre turn 3 then, so rather than backing up anymore, I decide just to go for it. I go ahead and charge in with the Iron Guts and the Lead Belchers. Threw the Lead Belchers in just for extra impact hits and some extra attacks. The Slayers are unbreakable, so I'm going to have to kill them all, so I need as many attacks in there as possible. And I go ahead and I throw the BSB and the Butcher out of the unit. Yeah, on the right there, thinking I'm probably going to lose that unit at some point in this game. If you look where I've managed to redirect the Longbeards with a cat, I've got another cat hidden behind the hill, ready to chaff him up next turn. Thing to note in this game, we were using ETC terrain rules, so the hills are infinitely high in block line of sight, so my saber cat there is perfectly safe from cannon shots and the rest of it. So I can hide my my saber cat there all game. So jump the BSB and the Butcher out of the unit to save their points, because I'm probably going to lose that unit of bulls at some point in this game, and I'm just trying to save as many points as possible. Plus now where the Butcher is, I can bubble out Troll Guts and get the 2 units in combat and really, swing combat in my favour. So I'll go ahead and start the magic phase, use Grut Sickle, which kills a guy. I've used it every turn so far, so third magic phase kills an Iron Gut. I've not rolled double ones yet either, which is fortunate, and I get to bubble out harmonic convergence. I managed to get the spell dice out by throwing up a Ice Shard Blizzard. Adding through all of the spell dice to get rid of that. I think I got a huge phase this turn, like 10 dice to 5 or something like that. I had a really good dice advantage when I needed it. So I'll go ahead and I put quite a lot of dice into Ice Shard Blizzard, making him have to throw everything at it, which he does. But then it gives me enough dice to bubble out harmonic convergence and bubble out Troll Guts, which is really, really fortunate, because now this combat's going to go my way massively. And actually, come to think of it, I think I'll talk about it in a minute actually, but before I get. So in shooting phase, I don't think anything happens. If I did, I missed a photo. I think the Iron Blaster in the bottom right couldn't shoot because it misfired last turn. And I think this is the turn where my Iron Blaster on the left falls short of the organ gun. So the shooting does nothing. In combat, look at that, we absolutely wallop the Slayers. We give them an absolute pounding for the loss of a couple of Iron Guts, no Lead Belchers. And my Slaughtermaster's moved over to the left. He is in combat with the Giant Slayer, who has taken a wound. a single wound, I might add, because my Slaughtermaster missed all his attacks and did a wound on a stomp. Now I think I forgot to, whether I rolled any ones or not, I can't remember. If I did, I'm definitely sure I didn't use my harmonic convergence rerolls. But I probably didn't roll any ones because I probably would have remembered. But because the Slayers are unbreakable, it doesn't do anything. Excuse me. And yeah, they just stay there. The lead belchers have fought their way out of combat, so in the next picture you will see how they get to make and reform like that. So they're out of line of sight of the Longbeards. No one can see them. And we'll go ahead and reform the Iron Guts as well, just to get more attacks in against the Slayers and hopefully finish them off next turn. It's actually quite good because I can finish them off in his turn, and then I can, you know, reposition him and move somewhere as necessary in my turn. Dwarf turn 4 then, he goes and takes the only charge he has into the Saber Cat, because why not? He's got a charger to get out of the way, he's going to pick up the points. And he finally remembers to push the organ gun forward, with the little Master Engineer running behind. No magic, of course, no shooting. I think that kind of misfires this turn. Yeah, he does have, yeah, it misfires. He has the Rune of Forging, which lets him reroll misfire, and he misfires again. But he doesn't blow up. I think he just gets the can't shoot this turn, the next turn result. The important thing is it doesn't blow itself up. Of course, the Longbeards completely annihilate the Saber-Tusk and reform like that. But you'll notice I have another Saber-Tusk ready just to completely chop him up nice and easy. Over turn 4. You'll notice we're still in combat with the Giant Slayer. That's the name of the fucking bearded bastard. The Iron Guts make short work of the Slayers, absolutely no problem. I beat them to a bloody pulp, kill them all. The Slaughtermaster misses all his attacks again. So that's 8 attacks and 2 stomps, and I've done a single wound. Only need to do another wound. I'm hitting him on 4s and killing him on 2s, and I just can't get any hits. And it's pinned me in place again. Not necessarily a bad thing because it's stopping me being shot at, but it's just so bloody frustrating. I go ahead and I move the BSB back into the lead belch unit in the bottom left there. The Ogre unit to the bottom of the screen is just moving around. Adam was worried about me flank or rear charging him. I've got absolutely no intention of going anywhere near that unit as long as it's stubborn, because I'm never going to kill the unit, and anything I put into that unit is just going to get completely blended. So I swift reform the lead belch to move them forward 6 inches. They're going to shoot at the organ gun and try and kill it. Lead belches are so versatile in that they ignore pretty much all the penalties apart from long range. Really, really powerful units, and you'll see over the next sort of 6 games just how effective lead belches can be when you really invest in them. In the magic phase, I go ahead and put Iron Shell Blizzard on the Giant Slayer. I think I went out with Bubble Convergence to clip those lead belches. Adam saw it and dispelled it, and then I got Ice Shard, and I actually remember him sort of going, oh shit, because he realised that's probably going to get his Giant Slayer killed, because we're still in a challenge, so it's just him against the Slaughtermaster, and I've taken 3 wounds, he's taken 1. Statistically, he should be dead by now, but he's not. He's still alive, which is bloody frustrating. In the shooting phase, lead belches do what they do best, and they manage to get 2 wounds onto the organ gun and kill it, which is absolutely great. Pick up those, that's a lot of points. The Dwarf Master Engineer, of course, passes leadership test. I made him roll it, you never know. In combat, we go ahead and we do kill the Giant Slayer. Finally, my Slaughtermaster's down to 1 wound, and it came down to his death blow hit and wounded, and it came down to my ward save whether he would die or not. But fortunately, I made that 4 ward save roll. I'm going to go ahead and make this ridiculously stupid error. At the time I was thinking, yeah, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Slaughtermaster in the 2nd rank, so the cannon has to go through the Iron Gut in the front rank to kill him, which of course is stupid because it's 2s to wound and 3 plus to kill him, and then he's going to hit the Slaughtermaster and kill him. Whereas if I'd have stayed 4 wide, I would have got my Lookout Sir and probably been alive. So I kind of outwitted myself in this instance, and I'm going to pay the price for it. A bit of a spoiler there. You'll notice as well the saber cat doing again what he does best by chaffing up the longbeards. Dwarfs turn 5 charges the saber cat. No shooting back here. I don't know if the cannon can't shoot because it misfired, or it misfires this turn. No, of course, the cannon shoots at the Slaughtermaster and kills him. It goes through the first iron gut easily, hits the Slaughtermaster, Thelma ward save, and he's dead because I only have one wound left, so I'm dead. And the Master Engineer there has actually gone into the house. We just couldn't be bothered moving him, in all honesty. Yep, so there's a picture of the Slaughtermaster getting a cannon to the face. So I kind of outwitted myself there. And of course the Longbeards kill the Saber Cat and overrun to there. Ogre turn 5, I just swift reform the lead belches and move them up 6 inches so they're out of the charge arc of the Longbeards. The Ogres in the bottom right just turn around, keeping everyone in the front arc. Lead belches move up, they're going to shoot at the building, which I probably should have moved. I think I was out of range to shoot at the cannon, which is why I went for the building, because shooting at the cannon is a better target because it's easier to hit. And the Butcher moves up behind the ruins. The magic phase, I put Troll Guts and Toothcracker. So, it was Toothcracker I had, not Bulgorger. So it's +1 toughness that I had, not +1 strength. But it's not made a difference until now. I managed to cast both of them onto the lead belches. I think Adam just let me do it because he was hoping I was going to miscast. In the shooting phase, I think I've skipped ahead a little bit here. I don't think I shoot at the cannon. I think I shoot at the building. Or maybe this might be the last picture of the game, but I can't remember. Basically, what happens on his turn 5, on his turn 6, he can't do anything, so he turns around. I move up, shoot the cannon, don't kill it. Do 2 wounds. It's got 1 wound left, so don't get the points there. At the end of the game, it turns out to be a win for me. Just a small win, but it's a win nonetheless because this is win-loss-draw scenario, so I get max points. And we actually made a mistake at the end of the game. We worked out it was a draw because we had a bit of confusion with the rules pack where we both thought that you got half points for units that were below half strength. So I gave him half points for my Iron Gut unit. Later on in the tournament, we actually realised that this was a mistake, and victory points were awarded as per the rulebook. Fortunately for myself, the TOs on the day allowed us to go back and amend our first result. So this draw, the result that we submitted as a draw, got changed to win in my favour, which was the accurate result. But it was a pleasure playing Adam. He's an absolute gentleman. He kind of was chasing tail a bit this game, so apologies there, but it was the only way I was going to win. I had to keep him at arm's length whilst I whittled him down, and I kind of, carried out my battle plan to perfection, the way I wanted it to go. Little mistake here and there. Made a mistake with the Gorger, putting too close to the organ gun. Made a mistake with the Slaughtermaster by putting him in the second rank. So the win could have been bigger. Probably should have been bigger, but it's his first game of a 6-game tournament, so getting little mistakes out of the way now, but still picking up the win, I'll take that. So I think, like I said, I think this is the last picture, but it might not be. If it is, thanks for watching. If not, we're going to go to another picture.